Hey everybody, good afternoon. Thursday, 2:30 group coaching, and I am Mike with My Core Intentions. Hey everybody on Facebook, I decided just to go live here this afternoon and kind of just talk about one big topic, right? It's 71 days left in the year. We're coming to an end.
Noon Thursday.
And let me ask you what you are currently doing right now today to plan to finish the year strong. So I think that when we look at the next few weeks, the next several days, it's funny because today I was doing some scheduling and I was just scheduling a couple of podcasts, and I'm like, wow, we are in December already scheduling these. And then I took a couple weeks off for Insider Secrets because of how Christmas and New Year's falls this year. But there's 71 days left. And that's 71 days. That's not even work days. So if you start to back out, 14, 16, 18, 20 days out of that, you have about 51 work days left. So I always like this time of year because this time of year really causes you to have to maybe work a little bit harder, do something a little bit stronger, a little bit more. And I think that you get there because the first thing that you really need to do is you need to evaluate, where have you been? Where have you been all year? What have you accomplished all year? And how does that compare to what maybe your goals were that you had set up? Um, and then what you want to do is you want to go and take a look at, okay, so if this is what I got accomplished and this is where I'm trying to go, how do I finish the year strong? So now what you want to do is go back and evaluate, what does it mean for you to finish the year strong? How does that look? Is it a number of sales? Is it a number of purchases? If you are on the selling side and you're a broker or an agent and you're selling houses, how many more sales do you want to get done this year? So that equates to, how many more people do I need to contact? How many more people do I need to talk to? How many more people do I need to go on appointments with? If you're an investor, how many more properties do you want to buy? How many more apartments do you want to invest in? Single families, fix and flips, wholesale deals, whatever your flavor is and whatever you're trying to accomplish, how much more do you want to do? And then your strategy. How am I going to do it? Do I have to step up every day a little bit stronger, a little bit more than what I've currently already done? How about, do I have to go stretch a little bit more? So I always tell people, I say, look, if you're not stretching every day. Somebody sent me an email yesterday. It was kind of interesting. They said, just continue to try and be 1% better every day. I thought, God, that's so simple, right? How can I be 1% better than I was yesterday? So if you look at that yourself, how can you move forward, be 1% better tomorrow than you are today? So how do we finish the year strong? That's the major question, right? So that's point number one. You got to take a look at what you've accomplished this year and where you still want to go, and then take a look at what you're going to do to get there. One thing I had this conversation this morning with a coaching client, one thing for sure is, don't be in a situation where you are not working on your business, but you're only working in your business. That's that technician thing. We can all fall into that trap. We can all become a technician. And if you become a technician and you are a contractor in a construction company banging nails, versus being a contractor trying to open up a veterinarian clinic, trying to figure out how to build the business, that's really where we want to be, is how do we build the business? So ask yourself how you finish strong, sit back, take some time, think about your business, work on your business. Number two, how about your planning for 2022? This is the time of year I always find that it makes sense to start planning, to start figuring out, what do I want to accomplish next year? Where do I see myself in December, at Christmas time in 2022, next year, whatever that year may be? So what goals are those? What goals do I have to set? What do I want to accomplish to reach those goals? When we talk about goals, there's always that piece where you have the main goal, right? I want to sell 100 houses next year. I want to sell, I want to buy 100 apartment units. But you have the one goal, but what are the 5 steps that take you to get to that goal, or the 3 steps? So I always look at it a 1-3-5, right? That's how we set those goals. Goal setting is structural, and we have to make smart choices along the way. So if my goal is to close another 100 apartment units by the end of next year, what are the 3 things that have to happen? Well, one is that I'm going to have to underwrite a bunch of deals. And 2 is going to be that I'm going to have to go build some more relationships in order to get that steady stream of deals through over my desk to underwrite. And 3 is I'm going to have to write a bunch of LOIs. I already know that this year I wrote 100, or I underwrote 100 properties to write 7 LOIs, the letter of intent, to buy 1 deal. So you can start to see where you're going to go in order to reach those goals. And then the 5 key points. So those are the 3 key points that you have to hit along the way. Put time frames on them to help you get to the 1 key goal. And then the other 5 key goals might be, well, I have to choose my markets. I have to build my buying strategy. I have to build my networking strategies. I have to build my contract strategies. And then what are my planning strategies? And then, that can be 1 key goal by itself too, right? Is if I have planning strategies, what am I planning around? My capital improvements, my exit, my rent increases, my stabilization, how am I re-tenanting a property? So those are all things that need to go into that 1 major goal. I want to buy 100 more units next year. So how do we get there? So whatever your goal is, I want you to sit back and think, okay, what are the 3 things that I must hit that get me there? And then what are the 5 things under the 3 that help me accomplish the 3, and then help me accomplish the 1? And as you start to formulate that in your own mind, you formulate that on paper, you can walk through there to get to the end. So goal setting is the 3rd point, right? So if we look at the 3 points again, point 1 is finish the year strong. You know what? 51 working days, 71 business days left in the year, or 71 days left in the year, I should say. 51 business days or working days left by the time you take holidays out of there and some weekends. And how are you going to finish the year strong? What are you going to do to accomplish what you've set out to do this year? And then point number 2 is plan for next year. So how do you plan for 2022? What's that going to look like in your life? How will you grow? How will your business grow next year? Remember, I just mentioned a minute ago that I got an email from somebody that said, hey, just try to be 1% better every day than you were yesterday. So look at yesterday, see what you did yesterday, and figure out how you can go be 1% better today or tomorrow, and continue to build on that. The more we build on those successes, the greater our growth is. It's the same thing with our business goals. The more we continue to build on those business goals, the greater success we're going to have as a result of them. And then point 3 is the goal setting and the planning, but then the execution. How do you get started? Here's what I would do. I would sit down right now with a calendar as we enter into the end of October here, the beginning of November. I'd sit down with a calendar and I'd look at a calendar and I would figure out all the time that you're going to have meetings next year, seminars, out-of-town events, vacations, all the key things, all the key dates next year, birthdays, anniversaries, things that go on in your life. Block those out. And then figure out what your work life's going to look like for the rest of it around there. What do you have to accomplish? Take your goals and figure out what the time frames on them are. Hey, if you want to buy, if you want to do 10 fix and flips, if you're going to sell, if you're a broker and you're going to sell, 100 houses next year, 50 houses next year, whatever your number is, what's going to back you into that? Break it down. I knew when I was selling real estate that if I wanted to sell over 100 houses throughout the year, that I had to go on double that or I had to take double that in listings, or a little more than double that in listings. So how my numbers shook out were I would go on 360 listing appointments. I took 260 listings, and I sold 125. So you can see how those numbers backed out. Do you know what your numbers are? And that's really a key point in itself too, is anybody who is operating a good business, anybody who's running a really smart business knows what their numbers are. Those numbers are critical because they're drivers. I tell this story all the time, but every time I pick the telephone up when I prospect, I knew I was making $8 every time I picked that phone up. And I just think it's amazing today that there's so many people on the sidelines that say, oh, old school doesn't work, that the only thing that works is social media. Well, when you break it down and you look at social media is the same thing as old school prospecting. Because what you're doing is you're just getting to know those people before you ever meet them. But you still have to go meet them. Chances of them calling you or picking up the phone to call you are less. But if you pick the phone up and you take the offense and go meet them, you're going to get more results. So take a look at what your discipline is, what your field is. And then last point I would like to make is about work ethic. What's your work ethic like, and where did it come from? Where did you get it? I think a lot of us got work ethic growing up. We watched parents that worked hard, that and a lot of times work ethic doesn't necessarily mean that you were at work all the time. It just means that there's a focus about it, and that there's a determination about it, that there's a sense of, hey, I want to accomplish this, and how am I going to get there? So, you know what? Don't say no. Just move forward, and every day you push that ball forward a little bit more. So I want you to finish the year strong this year. I want you to use these last 50, 60 days that we have going into the end of the year before the holidays, and do what you can do to make every minute count. If you need help, if you need accountability, call me out. I always love stretching people, giving a little assignment, and then helping them execute and holding them accountable. I think that, I've been in coaching for years, my whole life, 20 years, 25 years, and I've always found that my coach stretched me. And every time she or he stretched me, and I had to come back next week and say, I got this done or I didn't get this done, it was on me, because you're the only one that gets it done, right? I think one of the there's a social media video out there today. I think it's Mel Robbins that does it, and she says nobody's coming. Nobody's coming for you. Nobody's coming for you in the gym to help you do more push-ups or to push you to do more push-ups. Nobody's coming to help you make more sales calls. Nobody's coming. You have to do it yourself. So if you are not holding yourself accountable, holding yourself responsible, nobody else is going to do that for you. So let's finish the year strong. If you need a partner, accountability partner, call me. I'd love to sign up for that. Make sure that you're planning. If you need some guidance and direction around planning, how do you look at it? What are you going to visualize that next year is going to be? What do you want to accomplish next year? So I'm glad that you were here this afternoon. Anybody out on Facebook Live, I'm glad that you were here listening in. I hope that these were a couple of good points for you. So just one last recap, right? Finish the year strong. Take the last 50, 60 days, focus in on what needs to be done to help you accomplish your goals. Plan for 2022. Sit down, calendar everything right now of family vacations first, right? Recreation first. Get that time that you're going to spend working on yourself, playing with your family. Put that down first. Then put down any events that you're going to travel to, anything you want to do. In my case, I'll do 3 or 4 events next year, a couple of live events, and I'll make sure that I get those in the calendar so that I can plan for those. And then sit down and time block the rest. How much time do you need to spend picking up the phone, prospecting, calling somebody? How much time do you need to spend putting social media content together? How much time do you need to spend in appointments with people, one-on-one, face-to-face? I always call it shaking hands and kissing babies, right? So that's how we grow that business. That's how we grow any business. Interesting thought, and this is something that's come up in conversation the last couple of days with people, and It's what's your business? What business are you in? Whether you're in a network marketing business, a direct sales business, whether you're in the real estate business, the construction business, property management business, the security business, doesn't matter what business you're in. Every business gets driven by sales. Sales gets driven by relationships. Um, the sales get driven. We drive sales because of marketing and branding. So we're really in a marketing business. We're in a branding business. So I call myself a coach and a trainer, but I'm wrapped in a marketing blanket, right? So my business doesn't grow unless I market it. It's the same thing with your business. Your business, whatever it may be, doesn't grow unless you are marketing it. So how do you look at yourself, your business, as being this entity that the end result produces your revenue, your income, and how do you take that and market it? What has to happen daily, weekly, monthly? So when we talk about planning, how are you going to step up your marketing and your branding for 2022 as well? So I hope this has been helpful today. If nothing else, maybe it's caused you to think through some things. Maybe it's caused you to think about what it looks like tomorrow and how you're going to grow. And if I can answer any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And I will look forward to talking to you soon. Hey, Victoria.
Hey,
Come on.
hey, Mike, what's going on?
Nothing. I'm just ranting a little bit. That's all.
Today was really good. I have a lot of notes here, and I think I actually do want to get with you on the accountability.
Okay.
Um, I have 6 days to finish everything to get my website launched, and
Okay.
I'm launching my website in 12 days. So accountability keeps coming in over and over and over and over again to me. So I am finally getting the message. Um, but it's not my strong point. The numbers are not my strong point. So I love that you're good with the numbers. Um, so that would be helpful. But I'm just going to get through the next 6 days. And then after that, I would love to start and work something out with you.
Yeah, let me know what I can do to help. I'll work with you and do whatever we can do to help you.
Yes.
Listen, I think it's even me. I still have two coaches in my life, right? It's about the accountability. It's about somebody stretching me. It's about somebody giving me something to work on over the next week where I have to come back. And if I and I can't come back, I'm the kind of person I won't come back and say I didn't get something done. That's just not who I am. If I'm not pushing the ball forward and getting something accomplished, um, I feel like I let the other person down, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's what it has to do a lot with that accountability, right? So
You're exactly right. I think building a team is what will keep you accountable, and having your clientele rely on you will also keep you in line, right? And I'm wondering if maybe that's where some of the sabotage comes in a little bit and says, "Well, do you want that then?" You know,
yeah, or the other question is how much do you want it, right?
exactly,
How bad do you
exactly.
want it? So uh, yeah. Um, I love that you keep hanging around, right? And I keep inviting you because it's here. It's an offer, right? That you can get something out of this. So I love that you keep
Well, I'm like, eventually it will sink in. If I keep on, it's just eventually my body will have no choice, right? Like the mind will take over at some point. So I just keep on coming with those hopes.
Yeah, for sure. So that's awesome, though. Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate all your knowledge.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. And yeah, so let me know and circle back with me in a week or so and let's chat and see what I can do for you.
That'd be great. Yeah, we'll do.
Okay, Victoria. Hey, have a great day. Have a good weekend, and we will catch up. We'll catch up soon.
All right, sounds great. Talk to you soon.